too far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of this nightmare, but when I stopped to see those eyes begging for help.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
but yes, I'm ready.
Live! Hi, race fans. Welcome, man. We're live tonight here. Right. Yeah, Las Vegas. Had to make sure where we was at there for a second. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, Las Vegas, man, I tell you. And, you know, here for the Sim500, we are in the chase. Boy, I tell you what, it's been a wild chase. I'll pull up the standings here in just a second, because the top of the chase, obviously we know Daniel Falkenham's leading it. I mean, that man, he came out and he's done some good things, but Tommy Ryan closed the gap last week a little bit on him. So I have to see if Tommy's going to be able to close that gap any more this week.
So I'm looking at the points right now, Joe. Looks like I didn't think that this was the start of the chase, was it? This was the start of the 12, wasn't it?
This is the start of the 12. So everybody might be on that level ground.
It looks like everybody's pretty much level except for Daniel Falkenham, of course.
Yeah, and he's got some bonus points, and I think that you know, goes over to where he you know, won. But yeah, you're right. So that's Parker still in second, because Parker, man, last week, you know, coming back like he did, pretty good one. So Jose's still there in third. Tommy, though, actually was able to move up. What's that?
He and Jose just jumped up. Tommy Ryan lost 2 spots to those guys coming into this week.
Yeah. Well, Josh Parker, what he did last week was outstanding. We're getting set to go back green flag here and start this one off. Now, Las Vegas is one of these tracks where I haven't had an opportunity to say too much, but momentum plays a factor here. This place really, you get, you got to get what you can get early, because you're going to get, once it gets fanned out and going, if it goes long green flag here, it's going to be very hard to come through the field.
Right, and this track is, I mean, I think this is a quick track. It's a quick 1.5 miles, man. It reminds me a lot about Charlotte. Kind of reminds me of Charlotte a lot, because it's owned by Speedway Motorsports, which is in Charlotte, and they both look very, very similar. So I feel like that's the kind of race we're going to be getting. Granted, it doesn't have that little dip in and like as significant of a turn in at the start finish line as it will Charlotte. You know what I mean. I'm sure everyone listening knows what I mean. But still kind of got that little kink out right there at the start finish line. Same style track. I think it said 12 to 20 degree banking in these turns progressively as you go, and it's quick. So like you said, that momentum plays a huge factor here, and getting what you can, just because of how even this field is week in and week out, man. Just get what you can as quick as you can and just try and hold it. That's all I got.
Oh, yeah. And you're right. I mean, you know, week in, week out, these guys put on a good show. It's just one of these tracks here tonight that it's just all about, I'm going to say, track position. We have seen in the past where maybe some tires, now you do see a battle up front here. Jose's going to try to take the lead over Tommy Ryan. He's going to be able to do it. And what Tommy's going to want to do is just drop down behind him. Again, you get stuck on that outside here, you can lose a lot of positions. But this is a track position style race. And kind of what I mean by that, folks, is normally we see tires and pit stops, but tonight I think it's going to be even more crucial, if it goes green flag, that is, and more crucial for these guys to know when they're going to pit. I mean, because if you stay out too long, trying to gain position here on this track, it's really just, it's hard. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's getting to that realm. I mean, if you get caught way, seconds back, yeah, trying to get back to the field here is going to be very, very, very hard.
Right, Joe, and I don't want to jump too far off track this early, But something I'm noticing right now is Daniel Falkenham out? Because I'm seeing that it says he's out right now.
He is out. Yes. Not sure why.
Because he started what, like 14th
Qualified,
or something?
yeah, he qualified, but says he entered the pits. In the beginning of the race here. Back on the replay.
I don't know, and obviously sometimes...
There he is right there. That's on the replay. He was on the track at one point.
Right, and sometimes if he is out, there are some unforeseen circumstances that happen that we don't quite know about.
There he is right there at the start. And then he all of a sudden just comes on pit road. Now, from what he's doing right there, hopefully, and again, hopefully it's nothing in real life. Maybe it's something that came up, and that's kind of what that looks like is, hey, look, I had something just come up or something. So if anybody's got any update on Daniel Falkenham out there for us, let us know. Good catch there, because Matt huge in the points, obviously, because he's been coming in here dominating race after race. And there is no win in your end scenario, so for the round of 8.
I was thinking this could be a huge makeup night, and like I said, there sometimes are some unforeseen circumstances that we don't quite know about, which I think, Joe, you pretty much hit it on the head there, like, hey, something might be going on, and we hope it's not.
Yeah, nothing serious.
Yeah, maybe just like a cat pushed over a bowl of milk and shattered the milk or something.
I mean, we've had some, unfortunately, in some other leagues, I've had some race members go through some bad things. I know one of them, his wife is rehabbing in the hospital, and wish her all the best. And I know another one that his mom and dad's house just burnt down. And, yeah, it's just awful to hear, older and whatnot. So, yeah, and some other leagues, and I know. I don't want any bad things happen to anybody. So obviously, like I say, hopefully everything's okay. Mark. But on the flip side of that, Jose Gonzalez out front Tommy Ryan, because another man I'm not seeing in the field, Josh Parker.
I ain't seeing him either. So it looks like this could be
these guys are trying to play that. Sorry about that, Alex. Josh missed that one race and then came back strong. Well, they're really trying to thread the needle with that, miss a race, and try to get it up on the back end, because we got Talladega next week, which is a race that's just a wild card.
Right, that is going to be, hey, let me toss all 52 cards up and hope I grab the 4 diamonds, or, it's just, you can't really pick a favorite when it comes to that super speedway or Daytona or one of those 2 tracks, because it's just gosh, it is a big cluster of things happening all at once. And so we'll see who capitalizes tonight, because Jose's up there, Tommy Ryan's up there, both of them heavy hitters in this league. Ryan Howard right there behind Eric Arnold. You got Doy Woods right there with him too. Bunch of heavy hitters up here. So it looks like Tommy's not really letting Jose up there get too far away, so he's doing a pretty good job. And looks like Ryan Howard's trying to work over Eric Arnold right now too.
I see that. And we got Howard looking on the inside. Now there's one, like I say, it's one track's all about that momentum. It's a tough place to pass, and normally when you are able to make a pass here, it takes you a couple laps to get it done. And you can see it right here. It's a perfect example. You see Ryan Howard, he's not able to just go blowing right on by him. It's taking him a couple laps to get by him, if he can.
Right, and that just comes with, like you said, that momentum plays a huge factor in here, because you can think of positives and negatives are running each line that each of them are in. Obviously, Ryan Howard has less distance to go, whatnot. Eric Arnold can get a little better of a run off the corner because he's a little higher. you could play back and forth all day with that. And that just comes with hitting your marks, lap in, lap out, and just try to be better than the guy that's in front of you or the guy you're battling with. But with this group of guys, man, you could literally flip a coin, and the coin flip still might not even be right, because these guys are all about it, super competitive all the time, and you see it. They race hard with each other, and they give us a great show.
And you got old Dowie Woods right there hanging on the 5th place spot. But you got another cluster of machines back here. You got David Comstock, Kevin Brown, Robert Gillenwater, Scott Simley and company. They got a good side-by-side and nose-to-tail battle happening. That's around about 6th place on back.
Yeah, that's like 6th to 12th right there. So that 10th place spot falls right in there, Joe.
Yeah, that's our famous spot. Looks like 10th place week in and week out. These guys love it.
But we see some pretty heated stuff back there around there, Joe. It looked like the goal is a top 10 in my mind. Like, if you finish top 10, that's a good finish.
It is.
If you can keep going, top 5 even better, podium even better, come out with a checkered flag, putting on the top of your car, even better. But it's like that 10th place spot is the hot spot to be all
That's
season.
Kevin Brown right now.
Right, and sometimes I'll say it this time because Joe usually says it. If you tune into their Twitch channels, be mindful. There might be some more in-depth, how should I say, verbiage used than Joe and I are up here. So
viewer discretion advised.
Yeah, we'll put it that way. See, that's why Joe usually says it. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's a good. You get a good driver's point of view, and that's the Twitch channel there of Kevin Brown. You can check him out on Twitch as always. But you get a good driver's point of view. Again, you might hear a few choice words there, but going to hear on the broadcast. But everybody's single file. It's what I expected here. Except if we go back here to around about the 10th low spot, then yeah, that's just how this track kind of formed.
And I feel like once a single file happens, you see it for the first solid group of guys, but once this group right here we're looking at kind of single files out, you'll only be seeing battles here and there around the racetrack. And that's just kind of what happens at this racetrack, along with other mile and a halves. I feel like this track is kind of like Texas Motor Speedway in itself as well. Kind of reminds me of the same kind of racing style, same kind of battles throughout. So that's another track to put it in perspective for. But once that happens, I don't see people really, I'll say, moving through the field. It's just not the track for that.
Yeah, and right now you do see a pretty good battle. You just have Mike Kelly's back here in 13th. Got Anthony Calatoni, Kevin Brown, Chad Coleman, all in that pack. A little further back, kind of split up a little bit. You got Gerald Livingston, Joseph Burgess back there, Lance Ripka, Mike Kelly and company. But meanwhile, Jose is moving up, but Ryan Howard has moved up to second along with Eric Arnold, Dowie Woods there in fourth, and Tommy Ryan falling off the pace just a little bit back in the 5th place spot.
I'm wondering what's happening with Tommy's car right now, because he was hanging up there with Jose, and then the last few laps he just kind of been falling off, and now he just gave up those 3 to those guys. So I wonder if he's, we both know Tommy Ryan's one of those really good long run guys, so maybe he just has to come into his own at this track. But he's trying to stay last on with Dowie Woods right there.
And you bring that up on a track like this, long run. Normally we would talk about guys, short run, long run. The bad thing about how this place races is if you're one of those guys who like to try to bring it up kind of towards the tail end of pitting, this place tends to be almost wide open around it. And if you don't maintain and you let those guys in front of you get so far ahead, let's say, for instance, like how Jose is getting out front there, to a certain point, even though you might start to gain towards the end, you're just going to run out of time running him down. So usually a track like this benefits a more of an aggressive person getting out front, because you just don't have that time. And then by the time you do catch him, guess what? It's pit stop time, and well, you just put that guy in front of you back on new tires again, and he's going to do what he did there before. So it really is. It's a fine line here, and you know, you see Tommy right there. He dropped off the pace a little bit. Car could be getting tight on him, and again, we talk about that momentum.
Right, and I'm right there with you. The way that this track kind of raced is, if you don't take what you can when, like, right off the start or right off of a restart or something like that, like, you're just kind of a sitting duck at that point.
Yeah, and it is just one of those style tracks that actually built that way. I mean, we see it maybe at Auto Club a lot of times too, and here at Las Vegas, two of the tracks just kind of tend to be. Now, they do have a good battle going on here, and you're going to see Eric Arnold as he's going to get trapped up on that top side. Unless he can hold on, you see Joey Woods battling on the inside. If maybe Tommy can get up there to him, Tommy might be able to scoot up under there and take Eric Arnold on the back, but it's a good battle there for third.
Right, and you know Joey Woods, you know how excited he is to be in these power positions. I think he's in a power position right now trying to work over Eric Arnold right here. And Tommy Ryan's looking on the inside too, as we're looking from his point of view pretty much. Well, maybe from not really his point of view, but pretty much. But
yeah, he's got the best seat in the house.
Yeah, I'm about to say, he's probably going to try and get his nose under there too and see if he can just 1-2 scoop poop past this guy.
Yeah, just not going to be able to get there close enough. I mean, if it would have opened up, he definitely would have been able to get up there. But you saw right there, Eric Arnold obviously falling back to fourth. Joey Woods taking up the third place spot. Meanwhile, Ryan Howard's moving away, along with Jose out front. Now, Jose, I tell you, that's a guy, don't count him out. He's won several races this season.
Yeah, looking at it, I think, yeah, he's won 3 races this season, so Jose could definitely put him away.
Yes, he is. Right now got a good lead, about a little over 2 seconds.
Yeah, and with all that battling going on in front of him, Scott Simley's closing in a little bit on Tommy Ryan and Eric Arnold right here. He's been slowly but surely closing the gap.
And that's what'll happen if you get up there, you get 2 guys battling side by side. The guy behind you there is definitely going to make up some momentum on you, or some positions on you. Just because that's how this track is, you're going to lose so much being side to side. You see Tommy now goes right behind him, as you see Eric Arnold right there along with him. Storm out past the start-finish line. Emily, like you said, moving up to 6. While David Comstock back there. So the field's kind of getting spread out just a little bit.
Right. Let me ask you this, Joe. When is your ideal pit window? You think they're just going to try and half it?
I'd say half it.
Farther?
I mean, they're 100% fuel here, and at a place like this. Now, that is a pretty good question. You see Joey Woods closing in on second place, but if I'm Jose, I go as far as I can because I'm the leader, and I got a good lead. If I'm Ryan and I'm not gaining on Jose, he's gaining a little bit, but if I'm not gaining an awful lot and I'm maintaining, I got to do something different, especially if I can't rely on a caution to get back up there. I have got to either short pit him or have Jose go into pit and then go, a couple laps afterward or whatnot. And hopefully those tires make up. The problem is he's going to be so far out in front. Joey Woods right now is one of the fastest on the track. He's actually He ran a 32.65 to 32.73 on Jose's part. So, right now Dowie is trying to push the envelope. But again, I don't think you're going to see anybody pitting before halfway mark if this thing goes green.
Right, I think halfway is a pretty good marker. And just to put it in perspective right there, that pass that Dowie Woods made right there on Ryan Howard doesn't happen very often here at this track.
No,
that was a one and done. Let me scoot past you, and he made it work. I don't know if Ryan just got a little slow right there or whatnot, but that kind of pass, I mean, he was down and around him super quick. So you usually don't see that here, but like you were saying, Dowie Woods is cooking right now. Now all he's got in front of him is Jose locked in his crosshairs, so we'll see if he can make up some of this ground that Jose has put between these guys.
Yes, it is, and you see right now Dowie trying to do everything he can there, and to try to run him down last lap. Like Jose was a little bit faster, so they're kind of swapping between the two lap after lap, but still a pretty good lead. He's got out front about a second and a half. It's Eric Arnold hanging on the floor. Tommy Ryan right there along with him there. Fifth, Scott Simley's moved up on him. David Comstock. They see these little clusters all the way throughout the field here right now.
Yeah, and that's what you get. I feel like you won't see that many individuals around unless it's maybe the leader or pretty close to it. You usually don't see a lot of individuals here at this track as we see this, we'll call it the fearsome foursome right here. These guys rolling around. That's a old Minnesota Vikings D-line reference for those who don't know. But usually you're not going to see a lot of individuality here at this track unless it gets super stretched out, like we've had a long green flag run right now. And like if it just keeps going, I think it'll just get more and more and more spread out that way.
It will, and you'll see the clusters like this right here. I mean, this is around about 6th, 7th, and 8th place spot. Robert Gillenwater, Coleman, Anthony Calatoni, David Comstock. But you saw David Comstock there. He was in front of that pack. Now he's back in 10th spot. So just like that, it shows you how much you can lose by just getting out of the groove here. I mean, he was up in the 7th, and then now he's back here in 10th. So, and then you see Robert Gillenwater right there now. He gets shot up the track. Now Jimmy Coleman up underneath him.
All right, I think those guys are just going to reshuffle how they were.
Right,
unless
and you can see
get
it
down.
He might be able to get in there.
See if he gets a good run here off of 1 and 2 along the backstretch. He might be able to close it.
Oh, you got Calatoni. He's right there. If he dives it down in the turn, and Gillenwater's going to be able to get there. So he probably saved himself a couple positions right there. The problem is, you see the car washed up the track. And when it washed up the track, that allowed Calatoni right around him.
See, it's just a never-ending battle of what the heck is going to happen.
Yeah. And then that pack kind of just splits up just a little bit there, so you can kind of see how much you can lose just by battling with somebody side by side or just getting out of the groove just a little bit. And like you referenced Charlotte. Charlotte's the same way. If you just lose a little bit in the turn, you're going to lose an awful lot of ground on someone.
Right, and that's why, like, there's a couple tracks that are like that. I think Las Vegas, Charlotte, and Texas are pretty much, I'm not going to say they're identical, but they're very, very close in how they race and how they're laid out.
I'll be curious how the new Atlanta is going to do. You know, obviously they're redoing it. And the whole purpose behind that is obviously newer car coming out, so to speak. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. As we see right now, you see Tommy Ryan has fallen off the pace. He's way back here in 8th place now, so long run not helping him out any.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. I mean, obviously he qualified pretty good, so he was cruising up there up front with Jose, and but I don't know, man. Usually we see good long runs from Tommy Ryan, but we're just not seeing it here tonight. And these 1.5 miles sometimes just come and get you like that. I mean, a majority of the tracks that we race at are between 1 mile and 1.5 miles. Yep. So sometimes
a lot of intermediate tracks.
Yeah. Sometimes they just come and get you.
This man right here, he's got it figured out. You see Jose slightly with that last lap there, they were within 100th of each other. But these two guys right now, just Jose coming out here, he definitely knows how to get it done. But I've also said this. Here's the thing, when you're out front, you know what your car can do. But if you absolutely get marred back in traffic, that's when you can get caught. Because he doesn't know what that car will do behind someone. As long as he stays out front here, he's okay.
Right, and Doy Woods is just chopping and chopping and chopping. He's like a lumberjack chopping a tree down. He's getting log after log after log, getting closer and closer and closer.
And that's what I was talking about earlier there, Alex, is yes, you can see here towards the end of this run, Doy is faster. The problem is that huge lead that Jose's got. You see how long it's taken him to run him down. And by the time he gets there, and I'm not saying he won't get there, but probably by the time he gets there, it's going to be pit stop time. So the cycle just keeps going.
The never-ending cycle.
Yeah, and unless he just gets a caution that might help him out, it's just, what do you do? I mean, Doy seems like he has a better, longer run machine, but Jose has that quicker off the start towards the middle of the run. And now Doy's going to have to go, okay, do I sacrifice some of the long run next time around with the tires and get out front? Because Jose's going to do the same, try to get a big lead, and then by the time he gets to him, who knows. But I mean, you can see Doy right now, he's catching him.
Right. Something that I'd like to bring to the light too is Doy Woods didn't start on the front with Tommy Ryan and Jose. I mean, he was what, 5th or something like that. So he had to go through a couple position battles to be able to even get to the point where he could start chasing Jose down. And so that's kind of why I'm thinking maybe Doy Woods here's got that better mid to long run car.
Well, it shows, yeah.
And Jose
with 100
is
laps
right
here,
off the
though.
bat.
Well, the 100-lap race, I mean, we're coming up to halfway, so any time to this point on, these guys can pit. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem we were talking. Doy Woods definitely has. Now, he has to think about, okay, I've been able to run the leader down. Now, running him down past him is two different things. You know that, Alex. I ran him down. Yeah, I ran him down. Even if I get around him at this point, what do I do on the next set of tires? Because we've taken it to the 50-lap mark or more, and it's taken me this long to catch him.
Right, and that's why I bring up what I said too about him being a little bit farther back in the pack instead of just having clean air in front of him most of the time. So we'll see. I think it's gonna benefit him that he's this close and contesting with Jose up here, and especially when they decide to come down pit road, I think it definitely will benefit in Doy Woods' favor here for a really good finish here between these two tonight.
Pit road is busy. Now you see Jose right there go up the track just a little bit. Here comes Doy to the inside of him. Battle for the lead. So pit stops are happening. Let's see. We've not seen the high lane work all night long. Doy probably will get the lead. The problem is, like I say, it took 52 laps for him to finally run him down. Now if you're in Jose's position, what do you do? Do you come on pit road or what?
Maybe. I'd say probably next lap. He's probably going to be looking. Kind of what I'm thinking. Kind of mitigate that potential loss of time in front of you.
I would try to come in now since I've lost the lead. I would definitely try to come in a lap ahead of Doey, knowing that he's better on that longer run. That would at least let me give me a lap newer tires, because he's obviously climbing away. And the further that Doey gets away, that's more I'm going to have to get on track. Because the bad thing about green flag stops is the longer that guy in front of you goes, the more it spans out in the long run. So at this point, Jose pretty much is just giving up track position. And to me, you'll go in the pits. I don't know why. There's no benefit for him to stay out right now.
No, I don't think he's doing himself any good by staying out right now, because it's like we've been saying, Doey Woods has got that long run mapped out to perfection. He's just cruising, and now he's just hanging out up there. He's got a pina colada or something sitting in a bungalow on the beach. Maybe he's got Jose's meatball truck coming up and delivering some meatballs to him.
A lot of guys have already made their pit stops, lap 50, 48, 52, somewhere in that area. So pretty much everybody except for the top four have made their pit stops. That would be Doey, Gonzalez, Alatonia, Arnold. Those guys have yet. So again, I go back and then right here, see now, even this right here, and I get what Jose was doing, but even this right here, I really feel is probably not going to help Jose out. I think he needed to pit a lap prior to Doey Woods, because Woods, not going to say he's going to get out in front of him. Well, he probably will now, because that was a slow entry to that pit stop box. He gave up some time there, but now it's just you've got to run those tires really, really hard. See, Doey's off, and he's already out on pit road, so that's even more of a lead now. So, yeah, I've said it before. Mental mistakes on pit road and pit stops definitely can have a factor in how the race goes.
Right, we'll see if Jose uses what he's got. I mean, like you said, he's got a very quick short run car. Even into medium/long run, I mean, he was able to put that lead and hold it for that long. So he's got a strong car here tonight, but now he's got multiple cars in between himself and Doey Woods up there, making it even more difficult for him to be able to catch up to him. So we'll see what can happen, because, I mean, Ryan Howard up here, he's got a pretty decent lead himself. So,
and now we're going to see how much newer tires versus older tires benefit. Because right now Ryan Howard does have a 4.4 second lead, and this was what I was talking about, is why Jose would not have came into the pits earlier and got this kind of lead himself. So we'll look at the lap times as they come by. I mean, obviously, you know, Woods is going to be a little bit faster, but how much faster? Last lap was 31.16 to 31.41. If it's only that fast, he's going to have to really start making up some ground. Doey is the fastest, along with Jose, who ran a 31.03. Yeah, guys are moving on those newer tires. The problem is that I would like to be a lot faster, maybe a couple of seconds or at least a second.
Yeah, I could go for being a second or so faster. I think 30 seconds is in that 30-second mark is a good lap time here at this racetrack, especially if you're trying to make up some ground, trying to put some space in between you and someone else, or what have you. But now Jose's got one person in front of him.
Well, this is interesting. I don't know if you noticed right here, Alex. Jose's last lap time was 31.22 that time to the leader in Doey Woods 31.38, 31.40s. I think again we go back to that's Doey Woods saving and looking at mid long run, and you can see Jose is giving everything he can here early on to get back up there.
And that's a good. Do I want to say, yeah, observation? That's a word. That's a good observation for putting it in perspective of who races what way in this kind of scenario, because Jose's got the car to do it. Dory Woods has got the car to do it. Ryan Howard somehow comes out of nowhere and sometimes has got the car to do it. And he is very consistent week in and week out, as we see here tonight. He's currently leading with 38 laps to go. So
let's do the math here. I mean, if it stays like, obviously, here's the thing: you ran a 31.44 to 31.74, which is 10, 20, 30, 3/10 faster. At 3/10 faster, he's going to run him down for the end of the run. Woods will, and then getting around him. Now, obviously, Dory Woods' tires are going to fall off a little bit too. But this is what I'm talking about. This is just one of these tracks to where it takes so long to run somebody down. But you need that kind of time. Dory's going to need every bit of these 30-some laps here to catch Ryan Howard.
Right, Ryan. And I think that they're both. I think Jose is. See, this is the problem that I personally think is with using up what you got so much so fast, is that once it gets to that breaking point, you're just a sitting duck.
Yeah, it levels off. It really does. I mean, it kind of minimizes and stuff.
It hits you hard. We've seen it multiple times. Like, if you just go balls to the wall, how I'll say it, just like, and that fall off hits you like a freaking freight train, Joe.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that's what we're going to see with Jose. He's going to make up some good ground here on Dory Woods.
Now, the thing about it on this track, though, the fall off is gradual, at least. It's not like an all of a sudden. We've seen some tracks in the past where, like what you just said, man, damn, a ton of bricks, man, out of nowhere. And here, at least it is gradual, but that's just it. You don't see it coming. And it's so gradual that over time, the fall off and the neutralization of those tires, you think that you're doing good, but you're just maintaining after a while.
Right, and we're looking right here. We got Tommy Ryan. Good battle here with who's that?
That's
Mike
10th
Kelly
place
right
again.
Coming in for 10th.
Got Robert Gillenwater there too. Anthony Calatoni in front of him. But yeah, Tommy. Again, it's going to be a good points night for a lot of these guys, especially Tommy and even Jose. If he doesn't win the race, it's still going to be a good points night for him because Josh Parker, and then unfortunately with Daniel Faulkner falling out, which. I hope everything's okay on his end over there. Just I'm not sure why. Kind of tough job early on, but yeah. So you can see there's your top three, and that gap is falling to a second now.
Right, and I think Jose is maybe more on the conservative side now because he's not making up as much room as he was on Dory Woods as he was earlier, but they're both chomping at the lead Ryan Howard has. So I think we're going to be seeing some action here in the next couple laps or so. The way Dory Woods is going, I mean, we could see it this lap. Who knows?
Yeah.
This man is all about excitement and getting his nose in there, grinding real hard, however you want to put it, put the pedal to the metal, whatever you want to say. Dory Woods covers all of it.
He's a wild one. Well, he's closing in on the leader, and you talk about Jose back there in third. I think he realizes at this point you can't just go all out because he's not out front, so it's not going to benefit him. By the time he would catch, and you see there's the difference between the newer tires and the older tires. He's always going to make that pass clean right there as he goes to the lead. But as far as Jose goes, he's not able to, since he's so far back. If he was to run that car hard, yeah, he would catch, but the problem is his fall off. He wouldn't be able to get far enough ahead. So now that Doey's out front, got what, 30 to go. Let's see what he can do.
Man, that was fast. What did I say? That lap?
Yeah, he said. And remember, Doey said he's here for all about for the wins.
Yeah, that's how Dory Woods is. I mean, what what does he say? He's the baddest cat in the whole dang town or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. He said
Dory Woods
said so
is
much
the
when he was
bad
talking.
Leroy Brown of the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group. Xfinity
That's right.
Series.
There you go. That's a good battle right here. This was 6th, 7th, and 8th. I mean, hey, this is guys better side by side, almost 3 wide.
Yeah, these guys have been hanging out around each other a good amount of the race. You got Comstock, got Coleman, got Kevin Brown right there too, and these guys have just been hanging out around each other. Been pretty even most of the race, so seeing these guys still duking it out, 50 laps later after we were initially talking about them earlier.
Yeah, Coleman was in that middle there for a minute going, guys, what are you doing?
What's going on here, guys?
Now they fanned it out single file. David Comstock used that high lane, but you don't see a lot of here at this track. I mean, he was way up top, got the good momentum coming in, and Kevin Brown was down low, but Chad Coleman was sitting there in the middle like, hey, y'all come from?
And seeing how this, because Jose's passed Ryan Howard as well.
He has.
So we'll see if
The problem is Jose's lap times have been right there on Doey. It's not been faster. It's not really been slower. And, time's running out, so I don't know if he's got enough time to run him down.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Jose going to use up as much? Because Doy Woods I don't think he's going to keep pushing super hard. He's just going to try and just hit those marks and keep squeaking by and try and keep in pace with whoever's behind him, whether it be Jose, whether it be Howard or anybody, whoever can come up through the field, if that's going to happen for the rest of this race or whatnot. But I think these top two are kind of locked in, unless like a rocket from somewhere hits the corner of the track when one of them's there or whatever. But I think those two are going to be the front runners here for the rest of the race. We got coming in 25 laps to go.
We do, and still got a good battle going on back here around 7th, 8th, and 9th. I mean, you can see them. They get fanned out single file, and the next thing you know, they're like side by side for a moment. So they'll run several laps, and that's just kind of the momentum style of this place. You see it right now. You think, well, they're all following the leader. Then a lap later, they're right there on top of each other.
And seeing Joe, I'm trying to watch the real race going on right now for the NASCAR series. I keep poking my head over there, trying to see if there's any similarities we got. I mean, it's nighttime there in real life in Vegas, but a lot of I can see a lot of the same stuff happening. Like I see a lot of single file. I mean, obviously
it is. It's a momentum style track. I mean, that's Las Vegas for you.
And you hit it right on the head when you said that, Joe. That's just how this is. And we could bring in Charlotte. We could bring in Texas Motor Speedway. Both of them, same thing. We could even bring in Michigan, which is I think, a little bit bigger than. I mean, obviously it is bigger. It's a 2-mile track instead of a 1.5 miles. But it's just a bigger version. It's just a little bit more stretched out.
Some people might bring up the fact of, a lack of a better word, folks, boring. I mean, this track's more of about, like I said, you're wide open a lot. After a while, you're only really just cracking the throttle just a little bit. Now, in the Xfinity cars, it might be a little bit different. And reason being is the difference between here and the Cup car. The Cup car obviously it is going to be even worse when it comes to wide open because of the package it has as opposed to these here. As far as I know, these are not restricted. The downforce package on these cars is not as they don't have as much on them like the Cup car. Yeah, so the Cup car has that high downforce package because it's a 1.5 mile track. They have the plates on them to restrict them to the 550 horses. So that makes them be, like you said, the wide openness of them. So a lot of differences when it comes from the Xfinity car as opposed to the Cup car here. And it's really frustrating because Cup car at this track, man, if you lose ground on someone, it's so tough to catch them. Here with this car, you might be able to drive it just a little bit to maintain and get back up there. After a while, though, what we're seeing here spread on the track, you see little battles like this right here around about this about 7th place spot, David Comstock. But yeah, after a while, just everybody gets kind of single filed out.
Right, and that's something that attests that to something that we see very often with this group of guys here is we see flag to flag races, which is where we're at so far. Something's going to happen because I said something about it. But that's what happens when you get these long, stretched out green flag runs, and those little time differences start to add up, and that's just kind of what we're seeing happen here tonight. We're seeing those guys that have been running super solid, hitting their marks all night, obviously progressing up towards the front and doing a great job of holding those positions. And then we see some who haven't been able to hold them and just kind of faltering because of it. And we see multiple guys there, I think from 16th on back, are out of the race now. So I kind of wonder why all those guys kind of hopped out or whatnot, but we're still seeing good battles here. These guys all have been racing with each other for quite a while, so they know how each other races and all that kind of fancy dancy stuff, whatever, hoity-toity, whatever you want to call it. And
sit around and come up with these words, man.
I mean, I'm not saying that I don't have a thesaurus open next to me, but I'm not saying that I do at the same time.
Look, he's got a wild dictionary.
Yeah, it's I work with a guy here in Oklahoma. That's where I live, and he's from way down in the boondocks in Louisiana. And he, because I'm from the Chicagoland area, he says, you dang Canadians. So I guess us Canadians got different words for different things.
Look at this. Jose's closing in a little bit on Doey Woods. Chopping in. Now he's got about a half-second lead over him, and that was a little bit bigger earlier. So maybe Jose learned something on that first run, and this second part of the run now, he's looking a little better on that long run. Maybe Doey pushed the car a little bit too hard.
Maybe he did, and maybe kind of what I'm thinking is that he came into that pit stop and was like, I got more, I can give more. And
sometimes that's you know what, that's a good observation there. You're right. He probably ran down Jose through that whole run, and he's probably thinking, I could probably push a little bit more and still have some left at the end. Sometimes that's a false sense of security. How's that? That's a good word to use. Because it can bite you in the foot.
Bite me in the foot?
In the butt?
Yeah, we'll say in the butt.
I like the foot better, but hey.
Come back and bite you on the behind.
Yeah. And it might be, now I'm not saying that Woods still can't hold off Jose here, but you can definitely see Jose Gonzalez is closing in. We call him Speedy out there, and right now he's looking pretty speedy.
Oh, Speedy Gonzalez.
I know.
But
man.
You also say that Jose went into his pit stop and was like, hey, I've got a little more left over than kind of what I thought I'd have at this point, so maybe I can
he had, remember,
push.
he ran hard on that first set there, So,
Right.
he's probably thinking, okay, I saw what Dowie did, and you saw what he was doing there when he first came out. He was running the car hard, but then all of a sudden, he kind of looked like he stepped it back a little bit. And I think he saw, look, I don't want to catch and then lose everything at the end here. And maybe he saved a little bit now. So, maybe a reverse roll here, like what you said. Dowie probably that false sense, thinking he's got a little bit more. Now, here's a part of this track we haven't really touched on. And you can feel this in iRacing. It's called arrow push. At this point right here, there's a wall. Jose thinks, I'm fast, I can get to him. The problem is that car gets very tight the closer it gets to the car in front of him. And you can see right now they're holding pretty even. This is where it's frustrating for a driver. You can't break past this wall unless the guy in front of you just really slowing down or something. If you're both running even, it is a very tough thing to get around.
Right, and that just comes with usually once you get to these 1.5 miles and a little bit longer, you can start really incorporating the what's the word? The draft. That's the word.
That too, yeah.
Usually you can benefit from it when you're a little bit closer, probably close. Right where Jose is probably a really good middle ground for being able to really benefit from it. Usually don't get it too much if you're bobbing and weaving like up the front stretch like they have been. But in the turns and along the back stretch, if he gets a little closer, I think he could really benefit from it, because at these tracks, at this length and a little bit larger than this track, you can really start seeing people reap the benefits of the draft.
Well, you can see Jose's pulling in. He might be able to get there to the back bumper of Dowie, but is he going to have enough time to get around him as laps wind down? This is the frustrating part. You're right there, but you just cannot break through that barrier.
But here's something I want to bring in. Look how short this back straightaway is. Like, it's not long. I feel like, last week we were at Bristol where you were like, 1, 2, 2.5, and I'm already in a turn. This one's more like maybe 4 to 6 seconds, and you're back and going into turn 3. I feel like this is a shorter, it's just a short backstretch for 1.5 miles. I think it makes it 1.5 miles with that big dip down into the start-finish line like it is. But Jose is coming up close, and Scott Sidley right here too, coming up with
he's
Ryan
looking for third.
Howard.
He's got time. He's looking for third.
And just to look at it, Scott Sidley right now sitting 9th in points coming into this race. That would be an awesome finish for him, especially those guys that are going to reap the benefits of Daniel Falkenham not being able to really finish this
put him
race.
In the top 8 after this.
But I mean, looking at it, he's got a 18-point jump to second. So he's got an 18-point buffer.
And real quick, you bring that up. Today's race is probably the race that you want to have a good finish at, because going into Talladega, and I know a lot of guys are like, well, Talladega, I like it, blah, blah. That's such an unknown race. You get caught up in the big one, you just never know what's going to happen there. Anybody could win it. That's one of those races you don't want to have to go into trying to fight to get yourself in the top 8. I would say this one, and then the one right afterwards, or some of the ones, but this one right here definitely I would have said that this is probably the one that you really want to come out with a good finish and a good points night, and Scott Sidley's going to do that.
Well, like you said, Joe, I think this is the one where you really need to capitalize on what you can and can't, because the next one after this, like you said, it's just a wild card, man. There could be so many people that don't finish, or everybody can finish so close. That's just how Talladega is, man. Especially if we have a smaller field like we have had the last 2 weeks before tonight. Because I remember we've been having a shorter field the last couple weeks, and then tonight we had a good turnout, but looks like some of the guys have just been dropping out as the race has progressed. But we'll see. Scott Simley here's got.
Just shows you how hard it is to pass
finish
here, man, right here. It just shows you how hard it is to pass.
Here he is looking on the inside, trying to get that spot over Ryan Howard, and I think he's going to be able to do it too.
Going to come up on the white flag here next time by. Let's check. Emily takes it over. And Jose just nowhere near Doey Woods, losing ground, just kind of maintaining. As can Doey Wood put it in victory lane here the first time this season. And get that white flag coming out of here. Turn 4. One more time around the track here at Las Vegas for the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series. No matter what they do, kill themselves on the track now.
Is it too punny for me to say that since it's at Las Vegas, this would have been a good race to put my money on Doey Woods?
A good bet. The problem with this track is it's tough to put your money on anybody. Obviously, he comes out of turn 3 and 4, final time. Doey Woods is going to put it in victory lane. It's going to be interesting to hear what he's got to say. But Jose's going to come out of here with a good points night himself in second. Scott Simley himself right there in third. So both of those guys in the
just
round
took the points lead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And both of those guys coming in the round of 8 here tonight. Definitely good points nights for them. So I know they're definitely going to be very, very, very happy at that. But these guys up here get a word with them.
Gosh, Doey Woods is going to be such a happy camper, man.
And yeah, he finally got in victory lane.
You already know.
Finally got in victory.
I came to put on a show, and I was the baddest cat in the town, man.
Yeah. All right, super. Oh, Jose at? Hiding something? He's hiding. In the middle. We're at third place, man. Scott Simley. Let's get a word with him.
Hey, Scott Simley, Alex up at the booth. You got me, man?
Hey, what's up there, Alex?
What's up, dude? So, awesome race here, flag to flag. We love to see it. Kind of give me a feel for how the track was racing here for you tonight. I mean, I know you were kind of working over Ryan Howard at the end, trying to get that third place spot. We'll get into that after this. Just kind of let me know kind of how the track was racing, how it felt being there, especially on these long green flag runs, man.
Yeah, I gotta turn these guys down. I like Vegas. It's a pretty good track for me. It has been in the past. It's snug, and then if you play with the throttle, it seems like on exit, if you roll into it, I could actually get it a little bit loose, but then it really got unstable. So I kind of find that happy medium on the exit coming out for me. I ran it a little too hard that second run at the beginning, and I took it a little too cautious coming into the pits, so that kind of hurt me too. But Doey was fast. He just kept pulling on me, and so did Jose there that second run. So I didn't have anything for them, but a lot of fun.
Right, dude. It seemed pretty fun. I mean, you got a pretty consistent car. You were battling right there around the 8th or so spot, if my memory fares me pretty well. And kind of coming up through these guys, looks like you were looking in towards Tommy Ryan at the beginning, kind of in that first half of the race, kind of working it over to come in. And then this second half, you kind of just came in pretty hot and came up for that third place spot. Did you think you were going to be able to catch up to Ryan Howard there and secure that podium finish or no?
You know, I wasn't sure. Probably halfway through that second run, it seemed like I flattened off a little bit and I wasn't gaining on him. And then and then I started gaining about around a tenth a lap, it seemed like, and then then I figured I should get him, but it wasn't for sure, obviously, because I only got him with like 2 left to go, so it was close.
Hey, man, if you pull it off, you pull it off. What can I say? Making it exciting there at the end for that third place battle. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for this awesome finish here at Las Vegas tonight, man?
The series is fun. Got to thank FEG for putting it on, and the admins, and you guys, of course, always. Hopefully, fans out there enjoyed it, and it was a good race tonight. I think we had third last week and third this week, so we'll take it.
Heck yeah, man. Congratulations again. Third place finish. Definitely keeping it down to the wire for us here. Watching that battle there at the end, trying to take over from Ryan Howard to get on this top 3. So congratulations again, man.
All right, thanks, Alex.
Yo, like you just did, man. A man coming home here tonight. Scott Simley bringing it home. Well, I was looking for I don't see him. Let's
I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
So.
Bring our winner up here. Joey, join the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, buddy.
Well, I tell you what, man, you finally found victory here tonight. I mean, how was the car early on as opposed to after you got the tires? I know this track is a lot about momentum and, just sometimes getting track position, but take us through some of that race.
Oh man, it was exciting. We found something in 1 and 2, in 3 and 4. Just turning a little bit later, ran a different line than everybody else, and I believe that saved the tires and saved the day for me. And big confidence boost for the guys back at the shop. I mean, we've been driving the struggle bus all year, and we finally rolled out some new equipment and got everything situated, everything good to go. I mean, I felt like I had to speed 3 weeks ago, just a lot of bad luck, but everything's tuned in now, and we're ready to win the rest of the races. I mean, I'm planning on winning every one of them now.
There you go. You got to have confidence out there. Definitely is the number one thing. Now, when you was able to run down Jose early in the race, you was able to get around him, but then vice versa, it seemed like he was coming on strong. Was you a little worried there towards the end?
I was definitely worried. I was just like, he took this from me at Bristol early in the year. It can't happen. I was thinking some mischief stuff. Not that I would put him in the wall, but it crossed my mind if he caught to me, to be honest with you. But I had to dig deep there and focus. Kept telling myself, and don't look at the laps. Don't look where he's at. Just hit your line. If he catches you, you still got to try to pass you. Your best line is the high line. I was going to make him pass me low anyway, and had to dig deep. He definitely a big confidence boost. Jose's one of the best, and to hold him off, I done something, and so it's a big confidence boost for me.
Hey, nonetheless, put in victory lane tonight. Look strong, look good out there. Here at Las Vegas, you got anybody you want to thank for an awesome win?
Yeah, everybody on TeamSpeak, Chad, Byron, all the boys, David, Kevin, everybody, they help me stay on pace and give me the belief that I can still do this. And it feels great to have friends, guys that you can lean on, and when times is tough, and I definitely have to lean on them this year big time. So I owe them a lot, and we celebrating tonight.
Hey, there you go. Victory lane here tonight. That's Doey Woods putting it here. Good win there, and congratulations on the win, Doey.
Thank you, buddies.
You go, Doey Woods, man, putting in a victory. But I tell you what a finish it was. Flag to flag again, man. I tell you, it's awesome to see here at Las Vegas, and to kick off the round of 8 too.
Heck yeah, man. I can't think of anything more exciting than a race that goes flag to flag at an exciting track. We see some good racing going along through it, Joe. So this round of 12 started pretty good in my book. So I'm excited for next week at the 2.66 mile super speedway.
That's it. Talladega's coming up. It's a monster of a track. For myself and everybody here at the Sim500, have a good one.